So here I am, casually just watching the Summer Games Fest, doing some multitasking for some editing work as well as things for my contract job, when all of a sudden I hear Mr. Keighley say the words Insomniac and PlayStation. Switching on over tabs, I see this beautiful artwork of the box art for Spider-Man 2. I was like, God, I'm gonna have to set everything up. I'm gonna have to put on my Miles Morales shirt because I am definitely on a Miles Morales hype for Across the Spider-Verse and now the upcoming release of Spider-Man 2. And so I treaded lightly on whatever it is that they were gonna be kind of centering on for the next 5 or so minutes. Are we gonna get some new gameplay? Are we gonna get some kind of enemy reveal or character reveal, some kind of cutscene? I don't know what the extent was. So I thought to myself, let me watch this until Keighley says the magic words, let's take a look, or let's see, or something like that, because then it's going to be like some kind of trailer, and that's when I X'd out. Frankly, though, it didn't turn out to be anything like that, but we still got quite an awful lot of good, chunky information. Creative director Brian Intihar, I think I'm butchering his last name, but he came out and started to talk about the game just to kind of elaborate a little bit more on what we saw in the PlayStation Showcase gameplay. The only thing that saved that PlayStation Showcase, I'm sorry, gotta be brutally honest. And to be honest, he just kind of built up a little bit on what we were already kind of seeing firsthand as far as the gameplay of how Peter was a bit more aggressive with his style, with the way he was webbing around enemies and punching them, kicking them in the nuts, making them pretty much sterile, as well as also just his voice and his performance and how aggressive he was being towards not just the enemies, but also Miles himself. All that stuff that we just kind of already knew, and then touching a few details on the enemies, which Keighley was trying to be coy about, saying, you know, the two, or maybe there's more than two, and even Brian himself confirmed that there's going to be more than two. Granted, that was not necessarily all that surprising because we know that even from the first game, we had the Sinister Six, but our primary villains were Mr. Negative that we knew going in from the marketing material. But then the surprise main villain all along-ish was Dr. Octavius. So here, our primary two villains are going to be Venom and Kraven. And with the kind of description of what Brian was talking about, he also gave us a sneak peek at some artwork. It looks like a cross between concept art, while at the same time also looking like an in-game. I mean, it's labeled as concept art, but there's just something about the renders that I'm like, this is like concept art where you have alpha models already kind of inputted in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not too far off from what we're going to be able to see a little later on. And one of them shows Miles going up against Kraven's henchmen while Kraven is actually fighting Spidey himself. And he pretty much just looks ideally the same as he does in the cutscenes that we watched. But I noticed that there's the Daily Bugle building in the back. Is Kraven going to go after Jonah to bring the spider out because maybe he finds out that Peter worked there? I don't know. That's actually something that I just kind of came up with in my head. Of course, the one that got the bigger applause was the artwork with Venom, because you see Miles and Peter going after Venom. I noticed that there's nobody else there. It's just a 2-on-1 battle, but it looks like Venom is doing just fine on his own. He's beefy, he's bulky, he's a little much more angular than I was expecting for him to be, but that's not in no way, shape, or form a bad thing. He looks legitimately cool, close to what we saw in that profile shot from the first trailer all the way back in 2021. And they're keeping him close to the chest, but in a very good way, in a way where I'm like not at all worried about how Venom's going to be treated here, except some people might be split as far as his origin, which Brian, the creative director, did go into some slight details, confirming that it's not Eddie Brock. Is he lying? Is he trying to throw us a curveball? There's actually a pretty good chance that he's not, because, spoilers for the first game, you know that Harry is actually the one that's got some kind of symbiote-like substance on him from those end credit sequences, and not just the original Spider-Man game from 2018, but also Miles Morales in 2020. And so it looks like they're changing things up, and even Brian kind of elaborated on how they want to change up and keep things kind of fresh and deviate a little bit from the origin, the source material, while at the same time not exactly going all too crazy in a very illogical state. So it's good to see that they did that, and then finally Keighley brought up the fact that he's still a little antsy, like all of us, that they kept saying fall 2023. And so here we are. We just broke into June, and you guys are still calling it fall. And I interpret that as video game developer speak of saying we're eyeing fall, but there's still wiggle room for some potential delays. But it was finally here at the Summer Games Fest, out of all everywhere. I was not expecting it to be at the Summer Game Fest. That we got a confirmation from Brian himself with this quick screen grab. This is where I had to X out because I thought they were going to show a brand new trailer. It ended up just being the spider logo, the tendrils coming back in, our tagline saying "Be greater together" with a zap, finally leading us to October 20th, 2023. So it didn't hit September like the original 2018 game did, but it's still technically fall. And it gives me an extra month to work on some things that I actually want to cover here on the channel prior to the release of Spider-Man 2. Most notably, my current video essay that I'm actually editing right now as a 5-year retrospective on the first game. And then this gives me an extra month to cover Miles Morales and the DLC. So honestly, I'll take it. It's still coming out in the fall, but it gives me an extra month to work on that stuff. And along with it, like I said, we got this beautiful artwork. And furthermore, PlayStation took to their blog to give us this page right here. Posted on their blog immediately after Brian was done talking, and that was, like I said, essentially everything that they talked about at the the Summer Games Fest. I'm pretty certain this is probably going to be, I don't know why, I feel like maybe July. I don't think anything this month, but probably July, maybe August, we'll get a dedicated state of play towards Spider-Man. If they truly are going to aim for this October 20th release date, there's got to be a dedicated state of play. But in the meantime, we have this blog post that says October 20th, collectors and digital deluxe editions detailed. And it's arriving only on PlayStation 5, not a cross-title. Honestly, I hate to say it, but good. It's time to leave the PS4 behind. Pre-order starting June 16th. Everyone at Insomniac Games is thrilled to announce that Marvel Spider-Man 2 will launch on Friday, October 20th. Oh, they didn't want to risk releasing on Friday the 3rd. Friday the 3rd? Dude, honestly, well, then again, I guess they don't really want to step on Alan Wake 2's toes, but at the same time, this is just a few days after Alan Wake 2. Oh, Alan Wake 2 is going to have to wait. Alan Wake 2 is going to have to wait, to be brutally honest. But it's looking like they kind of missed a good opportunity there to release on Friday the 13th. But hey, who knows? Maybe if they need that extra week to polish up the game, so be it. But only on PlayStation 5, after the amazing fan reception of Spider-Man and Miles Morales, the team has worked tirelessly over the past few years to make this third installment. Oh, they're officially dubbing it a third installment, so that's pretty interesting. In the franchise, the sequel you have been waiting for, built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5 console, Marvel Spider-Man 2 will unlock the power of the console with better visuals, faster web swinging and web wings, 3D audio, built-in TV speakers are unlike stereo speakers, and near-instant character switching. We speak for all of our collaborations and friends at PlayStation and Marvel Games when we say that we cannot wait for you to get your hands on an incredible single-player open-world experience. And it was also some time ago where I think it was on Twitter, some kind of like developer AMA kind of thing happening on Twitter where they confirmed that there's going to be some missions where you're forced to switch between Peter and Miles, but then in the open world, especially if things from the story are not, factoring in, you can at will switch between Miles and Peter GTA 5 style. Of course, how can you not do that? If GTA 5 was able to do it on last-gen consoles, how can Insomniac not pass up on that opportunity? So that's great to hear. And of course, that's, just kind of boasting about the power of the PS5, not only being able to switch, but also being able to swing long distances, or at least slingshot yourself like Miles did in that gameplay, long distances, and not having terrible frame rate issues or pop-ins and with the textures and things like that. That was just them kind of flexing, saying, hey, that graphical leap that you guys are expecting, that's not going to happen anytime soon. It's probably not going to happen ever again. But the important thing about next gen, about PS5, is those load times, is being able to retain that fidelity without compromising the smoothness of the experience. That's what I'm looking for, and it's looking like they're nailing for the most part. In Marvel Spider-Man 2, players will get to experience Marvel's New York as both Peter and Miles. As you saw in the PlayStation Showcase last month, the main storyline of the game will have you take control of both Spider-Men at different points of the campaign. In the open world, you'll be able to switch nearly instantly between the two of them as you explore Manhattan, Queens, and Brooklyn. All right, we are going to Brooklyn. As I was telling my girlfriend, if we're going to Queens, we have to go to Brooklyn. Okay, so we're not going to explore all 5 boroughs, but not expecting to. I knew it had to be Manhattan, Queens, and Brooklyn. Probably not going to have a voice after I'm done with this. Both Spider-Man have stories and missions in the world exclusive to each of them. And as you can see from our box art, Peter and Miles are both key protagonists in our story. The iconic red background returns, but darkness surrounds as fan favorite villains like Venom, Lizard, and Kraven threaten them in Marvel's New York. You do see a little bit of the symbiote coming up on his arm, and his web is black as opposed to Miles is white. So I'm digging this. Here's the thing. The art on Miles and Peter themselves, I dig. They said right here, the iconic red background returns. Kind of wish that they would have changed it to blue. You know, I think I saw some other people make some mock-ups where they made a blue background. I kind of wish that they would have done that instead of the red again. It blends a little too much with the original game's style, even though I noticed that it's probably like a shade darker with, you know, it's tying thematically into the story, but yeah, I kind of wish that they would have done with blue. You'll also notice that each character's arm represents their new abilities. Peter with the symbiote, Miles with his evolved bioelectric venom powers. So yeah, I do see that right there. It's blue instead of yellow. I don't really extrapolate too much, but I notice maybe this game is in fact rated to go gold, because look at that. It's already been rated. It's already been rated by the ESRB, which usually entails that there's a finished copy out there. It just needs a little bit of extra polish, probably some bugs, kinks, and things worked out, but otherwise there is a solid build out there before it legitimately goes gold to manufacturing. So for violence, blood, mild language, and drug reference, kind of makes sense, rated teen. And then right there, pre-order live June 16th, next Friday, PlayStation Store and Direct at 10 a.m. local time. So you bet your ass I'm going to be waking up early. I probably have to wake up early anyways, because me and the girlfriend are going to be driving about an hour or so to go see an IMAX screening of The Flash. I am going to be seeing The Flash that Friday, so kind of have to do that anyways. In addition to our launch date, we are excited to walk you through the options for experiencing Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Pre-orders will open on June 16th at all participating retailers, PlayStation Store, and Direct. Pre-orders will go live at 10 a.m. local time. June 16th, France for Spider-Man 2 will receive an early unlock Arachnite suit for Peter with 3 additional color variants, an early unlock Shadow Spider suit for Miles with 3 additional colors variants, an early unlock Web Grabber gadget, and 3 skill points to get your stars. So the usual kind of menagerie that you expect from the beginning when you get some of these like pre-order bonuses, this digital collectible stuff. Gotta be honest, I'm looking at the suits right here. Let me see if I could blow them up a little bit. The Web Grabber gadget, okay. I remember it was pretty similar to the original game where they threw in some of these bonuses. Don't know how I feel about this. Doesn't look too bad. Peter's, he looks a little too Azrael. Like, I feel like we're crossing platforms here. This looks a little too Azrael. This looks a little too Robin. I don't know. I'm getting some Gotham Knights vibes from these suits, but specifically on the cosmetic side. I'm not saying gameplay or anything like that. I will probably say Miles is probably the one that looks the best here with the webs right here, with the cape right here, because it does kind of resemble Batman a little bit, especially with the red and black clash. But otherwise, I don't know if I'm 100% feeling it. And then we have that beautiful. Here's the thing, even though I would have preferred the blue box art, it does clash really well with the PS5 strip. I know it's a very inconsequential thing, but I'm digging it. You'll also see the beautiful box art of the standard edition, of course, retailing for $69.99. Nice. But that is not all. There will be a digital deluxe and collector's editions, naturally. Digital deluxe edition of Spider-Man 2 is going to be $80. We'll include the game, all the pre-order incentives, as well as 10 unique suits, 5 for Peter, 5 for Miles, additional photo mode frames and stickers. I actually will admit I'm a little trepidatious about the fact that they're locking stickers and photo mode frames behind the paywall. So that's, I mean, it's a pre-order. I mean, it's a deluxe thing, but at the same time, I'm like, why put that behind there, you know? And 2 additional skill points, okay? Again, stuff you could just probably get in game. A little, I will admit, it's a little weird. Here we have the suits, though. So the 10 unique suits for Peter and Miles, 5 each. Tactical suit, Arantia suit, 25th century suit, Stone Monkey suit, Apocalyptic suit, Tokatsu. So very Japanese influence, I'm getting the feeling here. Biomechanical suit, encoded, Red Spectre, really they have to give him the dreads right there. Agamet suit, which looks a little Blue Beetle-ish. It looks like there's an awful lot of influence from the competitor happening right here, if I gotta be honest. I don't know if I'm vibing with any of these suits. Maybe Spider Monkey and the Biomechanical, but all the other ones I could kind of take or leave. And maybe Apocalyptic. But otherwise, I don't see any here that I look at and go, yo, that looks raw or badass, to be kind of brutally honest. But again, they're going to be thrown in as part of the digital deluxe edition if you're willing to spend the extra $10. Here's the thing, right now between the standard and the deluxe, I'd rather just keep it at the standard. But of course, this being Spider-Man 2, I best be going all the way. And that's where we get excited to announce that these 10 suits were designed by guest artists across comics, films, and PlayStation Studios. The featured artists are Chris Anka, no names that I personally recognize, so there's that. But me being a hardcore fan, Spider-Man fans out there who want an incredible Spider-Man collectible alongside Spider-Man 2, we have just the edition for you while supplies last, the Collector's Edition. $230 includes a voucher for the Digital Deluxe Edition, as well as a steelbook case, which is going to be featuring that Venom art, and an extraordinary high-quality 19-inch statue. That's pretty beefy, featuring our Spider-Man battling fan favorite Venom. Fans can order the Collector's Edition on PlayStation Direct in those select markets, United States or not, starting at 10 a.m. local time on June 16th. Okay, for those countries that don't have PlayStation Direct, be on the lookout for more information you could like in those regions. We cannot wait for you to get your hands on October 20th. In the meantime, prepare to get your pre-orders. Follow us, yada, yada, yada. And here's the artwork once again. So, going to this Collector's Edition. Let's answer some questions here. Am I going to get it? Very likely, because, again, it makes for a great piece of content as far as unboxing, showcasing the steelbook, showcasing the artwork that they're using right there, battling Venom. If there's going to be... It's interesting that even though an awful lot of the gameplay and the stuff that was shown at the showcase centered on Kraven, Venom is actually stealing the spotlight when it comes to this Collector's Edition, because you get the steelbook case that has that artwork, and then you get that 19-inch Collector's Edition statue with the two of them fighting, and Venom is pretty much the focal point. You see how massive he is? If this thing is to scale, Venom is going to be a sorry, pardon my French there, threat to both Peter and Miles, and I'm excited about that. What I'm not excited about are two things. Once again, no physical copy of the goddamn game. We're getting a steelbook case, but the game in digital deluxe format is coming digital. It's going to be a voucher again. It's a practice that is probably here to stay. It still sucks. Nothing's going to take away from the fact that it sucks, because I like my physical media. Who knows? Who knows where I'll be in October? If I can spend the money, I might just get a physical copy anyway, so I can put the disc inside of the steelbook, and the digital deluxe edition code, I might just give it away. I might do a giveaway. I don't know. I don't know where I'll be in October in terms of finances and sort of mind state. I don't know. We'll see. But if in a perfect world, that's how I would have it. So I'm still rubbed wrong by how PlayStation's been doing their collector's editions, because even though I'm biased because it's Spider-Man 2, there are some problems with this collector's edition. We have the game being digital only, no physical copy, which doesn't make sense to have the steelbook there. No art book, not even digitally. You get the digital pre-order stuff as well as the digital deluxe content. Where's the art book? And that's a rhetorical question, because I know that you guys want to sell the art book separately as this beefy $90, $100 thing from like a company like Dark Horse. But they used to throw these in with the collector's editions. Hell, I recently just did an unboxing of the collector's edition for the 2018 Spidey, and even though it was super tiny, and I mentioned that in that video, it came with a art book. It came with the art book, it came with some physical stickers, the steelbook, and then that statue. Now, that statue pales in comparison to that size, because I think that statue is about, I think, a little under a foot. I want to say like 9 or 10 inches. This is going to be 19 inches, almost a whole nother foot tall. And it makes sense for a beefy character like Venom himself. And I'm digging the Venom symbol right here on his chest and his actual design. It looks quintessential Venom, while at the same time having some little characteristics that are very specific to this Insomniac version. But again, you really are taking into consideration it's $230, right? So let's say that the digital deluxe edition is $80, $230. So that means that for $150 more, you're getting the statue and the steelbook. Steelbook, let's say, is about $10, because I know that sometimes Best Buy kind of says that the steelbooks are usually about a $10 value. When they're thrown in, it's like, oh, you're getting a $10 value by getting a free steelbook. So let's say the steelbook is $10. So $80 plus 10, 90, so 140. The statue is supposedly $140. The statue is $140. Here's the thing, 19 inches, 140, it better be made out of some quality material, because at 140, I'm not gonna lie, it is gonna be stinging. I'm gonna pre-order this, but it will sting. I won't feel as good pre-ordering this as I have done with some prior collector's editions, like I've had with Uncharted 4, with even Doom Eternal, or even The Last of Us, because The Last of Us at least came with the physical game. This is prior to them starting to cut them out. Came with the physical game, the steelbook, a little mini art book, the statue. It had an awful lot of good stuff. God of War 2018. Not Ragnarok. Ragnarok, we started to come down that slope of not including the game. And then, to make matters even worse, it's only going to be on PlayStation Direct. It's not going to be available at Best Buy. Not going to be able to pre-order on Amazon. They're keeping it to PlayStation Direct. Why? Out of all the things from that I was expecting, not expecting, this one I genuinely was not expecting for them to make the pre-order bonus just, for the collector's edition at least, just to the PS Direct site. That's going to be a problem, because from what I've heard from some other people's experiences, this site kind of sucks when it comes to trying to put down pre-orders, especially when the PS5 console itself came out. I don't know if that is going to be a worthwhile experience. I'm going to try to lock down a pre-order for this collector's edition, but because of the small little stings that come with these problems that I'm mentioning, if by some chance I end up not getting it, I'm not going to feel all that terrible at the same time. I'm not going to feel terribly terrible. I mean, I'll lose out on an unboxing video, but at least I'll know that I can always go to Best Buy or Amazon and secure a pre-order for the standard game, and know that I'll be seeing, and know that my body is ready for the game itself. Collector's edition, I don't know. In the meantime, though, it's good to see that we finally have a release day locked down for Spider-Man 2. I've already told my girlfriend so that she doesn't bother me in that time. It's fine. She's going to be busy during that time anyways. And hopefully by then, like I said, we'll be in a place where I'll be able to stream the game, capture footage, create a video essay for that, and in meantime, get back to work on my current video essays. Whenever there's some more action figures for the game, whether, hopefully not necessarily just from Marvel Legends, but also from some other companies that are hopefully going to take a whack at giving us a Insomniac Spidey and Insomniac Miles, Figure Arts, Mafex guys, make it happen. And despite my personal grievances with the collector's edition, I'm still pretty hyped for October 20th now, because that's going to be a pretty worthwhile Halloween. What do you guys think about the collector's edition, the release date, these pre-order incentives or digital deluxe incentives? Do you think that they're worth it? Do you think that this collector's edition is a little too much as far as price? Do you think that it's a mistake locking it behind PS Direct or making it be digital only? Let me know your guys' insights in the comment section below. And when do you think we're going to get some more gameplay? Do you think there's going to be a dedicated state of play later in the year? More than likely, that's probably a given. And whenever that happens, I will be doing another video deep dive reaction. Maybe Spider-Girl, aka my girlfriend, will jump in and participate as well. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and stay humble.